You know, I haven't made a video in a while. I wonder how long it's been. Yeah, so it's been a long while. I'm not gonna get into why, since you'd probably much rather see these long-awaited redesigns. Speaking of redesigns, today we are going to be redesigning V and Shelly from Dandy's World. If you don't know what Dandy's World is, I gave a quick rundown of it in my first redesigning video with Astro. Go check it out! And while you're at it, if you like my content and are unsubscribed, please consider subscribing! Your guys' support is everything to me. Finally, as I've said in all of these videos, these redesigns are just for fun. I'm in no way trying to insult Quell or Blush Crunch in the slightest. And with that out of the way, let's get into the redesigns. For V, I still wanted to keep her head design relatively the same. I did add some buttons and dials, but other than that, I didn't change anything too much. I'd say the most drastic change I made to her design were the clothes. I gave her a sleek suit with shoulder pads, some heels, and an update to her bow tie, which, other than her head, is a big part of her character design. Another thing you'll notice are the star accents I gave to her. She has a star on her bow tie, her cuffs, her shoes, and even the folds on her shoe are shaped like a star. I added these because, well, she is the star of the show, is she not? Onto colors! I kept her color scheme mostly the same, sticking to bright greens. I did, however, play around with different shades of green. I made some greens leaning towards yellow and others leaning towards blue, just to add some variation. It doesn't show in the speed paint, but I had a lot of trouble coming up with a color scheme for the bow tie. I still don't know if I like it, honestly. It kind of blends into her head color a bit, but what's done is done, I guess. Finally, I added some yellow accents to make her star accessory pop. I also added stripes to her suit to give it that 1990s charm that so many TV show hosts had. And here she is! A vast improvement from my first redesign, honestly. We don't talk about that. With V out of the way, let's move on to one of my favorite characters in the game. Before, I honestly hated how plain Shelly's design was. Like, she's a main. She should have a more intriguing design, right? And I already know a million people have said this before about the other mains, but recently I've seen the argument that she is bland on purpose. Since she's usually the forgotten one, it would make sense that her design is made of boring browns and tans, right? Well, I'm still redesigning her anyway, for fun! I kept most of her traits the same shaped head, same eyes, etc. I gave her some goggles because, well, she's going to be digging up fossils every day. We want to keep her eyes shielded from all that sand and dirt. I kept the shape of her overalls the same, but I turned them into shorts instead of the skirt. I also gave her gloves and boots for max efficiency out there on the desert field, wherever people find fossils at. I gave her little participation award and a bandana to keep herself from breathing in any sand. Finally, I gave her a dinosaur tail because, well, I thought it was cute. I could see her wagging it whenever she's happy. Now for colors. I gave her a slightly darker skin tone? Shell tone? Whatever. And I gave her some darker skin marks to mimic a dinosaur's marks. I switched up the color palette on her clothes, making her overalls a light brown and her gloves, boots, and goggles a little darker. Her bandana, socks, and ribbons on her award were colored red with some yellow accents. And I decided to add a little dinosaur design to her socks, which I think is adorable. And here she is! While not a huge change from my earlier redesign, I still adore her nonetheless. She's so cute! And that's all I have for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts on my redesigns below. What do you like and what would you change? I hope you all have a good day or night. Goodbye! This is gonna be so draining. And while you're at it, if you like my content... What? Content? Content. Aw. Okay. I got this. I got this. I got this. I got this. It's only a bajillion more words. Okay. Onto colors! That was gross. I made some greens leaning towards yellow, while others leaning... What? Finally, I added some yellow accents to make her scar? I also added stripes to her suit to give it, I also added stripes to her suit to give it that 1990s charm. I also added stripes to her suit to give it that 1990s. I also added stripes to her suit to give it that 1990s charm that so many TV shows had. Bro. I also added stripes to her suit to give it that 1990s charm that so many TV show hosts had. Fuck! That was horrible. Since she's usually the forgotten one, it would make sense that her design is more... Sorry, got mad. That's gonna be annoying to cut out. Where was I? I'm almost done. I can see the horizon. It's almost here!